3 weeks have passed. Julia, true to her word, has taken charge of the Lenning store in Philadelphia. Again, she's the Julia Scott of old, machine-like in her tireless efficiency. But at the Lenning home in New York, the efficient machine is sorely missed, especially by Richard.
But why? Why should dinner be late? It was never late, well, before.
You mean when Julia was here? Why don't you say it?
Well, it's true. It's not only the meals, it's everything else. This house was fit to live in when she was here. She's indispensable here, just as she is every place else.
Daddy, when is Julia coming back?
How do I know? When she finishes her job.
Well, I want her back.
Well, so do I.
Well, as a matter of fact, well, so do I.
Why, Gertrude.
The house does need it. I've been wrong about a few things in my life, and, well, Julia is one of them. And when I see her again, I'm going to tell her so.
Me too. I love Julia.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that.
And so do you, Daddy. And Gertrude, Daddy loves Julia.
Annabelle, you'd better go and wash for dinner.
Daddy loves Julia.
Annabelle, do as you're told.
Daddy loves Julia. Daddy loves Julia. Daddy loves Julia.
Well, Gertrude, what are you looking at? Hello?
Mr. Richard Lenning, please.
Speaking.
On your call to Philadelphia, sir. We have your party. Hello?
Hello, Julia. How are you?
Hello, Richard, at the office.
Oh, at this hour? Well, now, Julia, there's no need to kill yourself, you know. But I wanted to tell you, I read the report you sent up this morning. You're doing a great job down there.
Thank you.
How much longer do you think it will take you?
Not long. I'm practically through now.
Good. I want you back here.
Richard.
Yeah, back home. You know, this place needs attention. Didn't that occur to you all these weeks? Surely you could have found a free evening or part of a weekend to run up here and straighten the place out. Why, you know...
Wait a minute, Richard. I see what you mean. And if that private madhouse you call a home is in a turmoil again, it can stay that way.
What are you talking about?
I'm not coming back.
What?
I've fulfilled my part of the bargain. I'm delivering the Edwards store to you in perfect order, and that's all I owe you.
Julia, you can't. I mean, the house here...
To get a housekeeper.
Oh, this is nonsense. I won't stand for it.
Try and stop me.
Well, where are you going?
Where am I going? I can't use that kind of language on the telephone.
Hooray!
Jerry, you didn't hear you.
I think anybody within 8 blocks of here would have heard. And again, I say hooray.
Jerry, how long would you say you've been waiting for me to go places with you?
I make it about 3 weeks now.
Well, Jerry, my boy, your patience is rewarded. For tonight, we step.
What's happened?
Ask me no questions. Just show little Julia the bright lights. I want to find the quickest way to catch up 6 long years.
A cinch, madame. That calls for a nice, quiet dinner.
Oh, no. That's too private, much too private. I've got it. Let's have dinner in the store.
But the cafeteria is closed.
But the display window isn't. Haven't you seen the new dining room display? Come on.
Here you are, Mrs. Lenning. Restaurant fella says your phone's...
Oh, good. Put the tray right down here on the table.
Huh? I mean, you ain't really going to eat here in the store window with all them dummies. That is...
Why, John, those aren't dummies. They're Mrs. Lenning's family. She told me so.
Huh?
Look, John, what's your salary as night watchman?
Why, 18 a week, but I...
Beginning tomorrow, it's 30. Now, draw that curtain across the window there to keep out the gaze of the passers-by and go on punching your clock.
But, Ma'am...
30 a week, John. Remember?
All right. But where till I tell Martha that I saw Mrs. Lenning and Mr. Edwards in the store window with a bunch of dummies? She'll think I'm drunk. Again.
Alone at last.
Alone? You forget my family. Mr. Edwards, may I first present you to Grandma?
Oh.
On the surface, a nice old lady. Inside...
Sawdust. Howdy, ma'am. Right, pleased to meet you.
Oh, don't mind her not answering. A closed-mouth bunch, my family.
Oh.
And there's Dad. That frown on his face is permanent. The old boy's soured on life.
Must run a department store. Hi, Dad.
And there's Mother. Dear old Mother. A tragic figure, Mr. Edwards. She's loved Dad for years and years, but he's never responded.
Unbelievable. Hello, Ma.
Oh, I almost forgot my brother Willie. That's homework he's doing there. He's trying to prove that 2 and 2 make 4. He's been at it for years.
He'll never make it. Greetings, Willie, my lad.
Well, that's my family. Let's eat.
You're sure they don't mind my intrusion?
Mind? Oh, they're delighted. Because I'm going away tonight. This is little Julia's farewell party, and are they glad to get rid of me? Aren't you, Dad? Oh, Jerry. Jerry, look, I'm knocked Dad over.
Oh, quit it, Julia. You're not fooling anybody. Talking to a lot of dummies and trying to pretend it's fun. Now, let's get out of here.
Oh, don't be silly. I'm having a swell time.
You're miserable. Look, Julia, forget that Lenning guy, will you? You've got some happiness coming, and I can give it to you.
Can you, Jerry?
You say you've lost 6 years. Well, you're going to get them back.
Am I?
Julia, look at me.
Well?
I've wanted to kiss you for longer than I can remember. Now I'm going to.
No, Jerry.
Julia.
I know, but never mind that. Never mind. You can't go. I tell you. Oh, that? Swell. Thank you. Here, you can't take no pictures here.
Jerry, who is this woman?
Good evening, Jerry.
Helen.
Say, Mr. Edwards, this lady and gentleman here said you expected them. They didn't say nothing about taking no flashlight pictures.
It's all right, John. Hello, Helen. Nice of you to drop in.
Wasn't it? Oh, and if you and Mrs. Lenning are interested in that picture, Jerry, I'm sure it'll be in the morning papers, on the front page.
Thanks. Oh, by the way, Julia, excuse me. I'd like you to meet Helen, my wife.
Hey, Mrs. Jerry Edwards sues for divorce.
Hey, hold on. Go to the back. Read about Julia Scott.
Naturally, I came down at once. What would you expect me to do? I suppose you've seen this newspaper story.
Seen it. I practically wrote it.
Oh, Julia, you've got nothing to worry about. I figured it all out on the way down. In spite of that picture, they can't prove a thing. You had a perfect right to be in the store at night, and so did Edwards. Besides that, all we need is a character witness and a dozen other people. Outstanding citizens who will testify for Julia Scott. Testify that her name has always stood for the very highest type of American womanhood. And then, when you get that on the stand yourself, why, Julia, I tell you, together we can beat this thing. You just leave it to me.
Richard, you mean you really want to see me through this case, that you honestly care enough to...
See you through? Why, of course I'll see you through. Do you expect me to sit idly by while the Lenning name is dragged in the mud?
Oh, the Lenning name. So that's it. Then it's not me you want to defend. You don't care whether Mrs. Edwards' charges are true or not. You probably think they are.
Well, if you can give me satisfactory proof that...
I can't and I won't. Just bring on that trial. I'll take care of the Lenning name. How I'll take care of it. I can see myself on the stand right now. I'll make a speech like you've never heard.
Julia.
Your Honor and gentlemen of the jury, it seems that I am on trial here. Well, I was in that store window that night because Jerry Edwards is about the sweetest man I know. And my husband, Richard Lenning, is the dullest. Our marriage was one of convenience, Your Honor. He wanted to hang on to a partner. And I only loved him like a fool from the first minute I ever looked at him. I hoped he'd fall into something human. A man who didn't care whether I was efficient or not. A man who liked me, loved me as a woman. But what does Mr. Lenning propose? That I go back to being Julia Scott? That I give up all hope of ever really living and die by degrees as a servant of Richard Lenning? Gentlemen, I propose we try Mr. Lenning in this court. The case is obvious. The sentence? That he be married to his store and locked up in it for the rest of his life. Nobody would ever miss him. If that's Jerry Edwards, it'll make a perfect period. Hello? Hello, Jerry? That, Jerry, was the dropping of a curtain.
Miss Annabelle, it's no use, I tell you. Your father's been in there for hours, and he won't see anybody.
Yeah, well, he's going to see me, because I've got to see him. Now, you let me by.
No, now, you mustn't. Now, you wait.
Miss
Miss Annabelle, you can't.
Daddy.
I'm sorry, sir. I told her.
Go away, Annabelle.
I won't. I want to talk to you about Julia. Oh, I know why you've got yourself all locked up in here.
Oh, Annabelle, this is none of your affair.
It is my affair. I love Julia, and I want her back. I read that old paper, and whatever they said she didn't do it. And you can believe she did if you're an old stoop enough, but she didn't.
Annabelle.
Oh, don't get mad, Daddy, but you're awful dumb about some things.
Well, suppose I knew that now. I suppose Julia didn't want to come back.
Oh, gosh, can't you go and get her? Didn't you ever read about Knights or Nothing? They didn't wait for someone they loved to say yes or no. They just went out and dragged him in by the hair of the head.
Annabelle, every one of the 1,000 spankings you deserve but didn't get is canceled. Franklin?
Yes, sir?
Get the car. We're going to Philadelphia.
Begging your pardon, sir, but you're going terribly fast. Mr. Lenning!
Dick, Frank. Just Dick to you. And I think I need another drink.
Oh, yes, she's gone, Mr. Lenning.
Gone?
Yeah, she left this afternoon with Mr. Edwards. For New York, I think.
Come on, Frank. We're going back to New York.
Oh, but while you're here, sir, there's a matter about the toy department.
Toy department? My friend, you can take the toy department and ship it back to Santa Claus. Come on, Frank. Sure, 2 hours?
Oh, no, sir. I ain't seen hide nor hair of her, Mr. Lanning.
Frank, that settles it. We go home for one last look, and if she's not there, we'll call on the cops.
Right you are, Dick, my boy. Every cop on the force. Whee!
Now, wait a minute. Frank, what would you say those bricks were here on the sidewalk for?
Why, I would say for the new addition to your store there.
But you're wrong. Here, Frank, how's your aim?
Oh, Mr. Lanning, your own store window.
Oh, go on now, throw one. Have a window on me.
Well, sir, if you insist.